I'm Alan.
And we are Tasha and Alan's Disney Adventures, and we are at the airport. And I've got my Disney ears on, so it just means one thing. We're going on a Disney holiday. So we're flying off to New York this afternoon, but we have to, or this evening even, but we have to go and get tested. So it's one of the last Disney cruises that need testing at this moment in time, when we're flying in October. Yeah. October, I was about to say November. October. So if you're flying or you're going to travel with Disney Cruise Line, just double check all the rules. At the moment, you probably won't need to test, but double check. Do not take Tasha's word for it. But let's go and get tested. So we just did the testing, which is just outside Terminal 3 at the drop-off centre to your right when you're looking opposite Virgin. It was so quick. Like, we went in there, scanned the QR code. I took one picture while I was in the test centre, so I might insert now if I want to. I don't know. Do you want to see a picture? Who knows? It could be irrelevant at some point soon. And then we went through. He just did the nose, not the back of the throat, and then we're just now waiting our 40 minutes for the email to come through. So we're just sitting outside because it's so nice and bright in the UK right now. Oh yes. Not overly warm. Do you know what? It's bright though, and I don't feel cold, so it feels quite nice actually. But yeah, that test centre, quick and easy, really. Oh, and I want to thank my sister who did my nails, my Halloween nails. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, I love them so much. My Mickey with my shinies. We've got a ghosty, we've got a spiderweb which has shiny, the little mini Mickeys, and some dots. I love them. They're on both hands, apart from the ghost on the other one is a mini ghost. That was my Mickey ghost. Oh, thank you, Amber, I love you so much. Okay, so we have a negative test. Yes. We are getting on the flight. We're now just going to see if we can book or check in a bit earlier. But yeah, we're very excited now. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And thank you for Laura, the Etsy seller that I love so much, when you wish is co, for my Halloween haunted mansion is. These are going to be my flight ears today. I love them, love them. Are you excited?
Yes, and there's a lot more ears to come.
Yes. We're through security now and going to get some foods. I need some foods. I've got a rumbly in my tumbly. Here's Mr. Bones. I found him. Meet Mr. Bones. Was consumed. It was really nice. I saw my sister who works at the airport, which is lovely, and now we are waiting for our flight. I'm a really bad vlogger, guys, I'm really sorry. Our gate was called and now we are here and we are flying on Rosie Lee. Oh, look at that beautiful shot with the sun. Hi everybody, I'm such a bad vlogger, I'm sorry. We didn't vlog that much in the airport, I'm sorry.
Not much to do, was there?
But we are on the plane now, and it's a night flight, so hopefully we'll get some nice views and stuff. And we'll vlog a little bit on the plane. Like
drop masks just in case.
Yeah, won't really need it, but there is a lot of space on the plane, so people might move around, so we might have a bit more room. taste as good as stinky pretzels? So, Alan got chicken tikka masala and a bread roll. Tasha got mac and cheese and no bread roll. Apparently I don't deserve a bread roll. You're like hulking your bread. Okay, so mac and cheese was not good. So, thank God we buy sandwiches. And look what happened to our crisp bag, right? It's exploded with the air pressure. Oh, let the vlog down. You need to suck your lolly. Yeah, because they might not be able to hear me. When we get to the other side, because I probably ain't going to film much because I am knackered, so we'll probably see you either when we're in the cab or when we're at the hotel, one of the two. Alright, see you later. 1:30 in the morning and we are still not at our hotel. Okay guys, we are at like 2 o'clock in the morning and we've only just arrived at the hotel. Now I'm not going to do a room tour at this moment in time because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I am going to talk to you in the morning about everything. I've got footage from tonight. A lot happened and we need to talk about it, and I think I need to talk about it to get it off my chest because that was insane. That's probably the most insane experience I've had in a long time. So yeah, we'll talk to you in the morning, okay? We might make this a double vlog for day 1 and 2 because how crazy it has been, and probably less stuff happening tomorrow because we're gonna sleep in for as long as we can. All I can say guys is I can't wait for the Disney Magic. Please bring on the Disney Magic cruise, please. Inside the restaurant, it's a bit chaotic. Hello. So you are on the next day, which is the Sunday. We flew on the Saturday, and the last bit of footage last night, you saw me absolutely shattered, probably talking nonsense at 2:30 New York time. So
at 7 o'clock UK time.
Yes.
And we started filming at
9 o'clock the previous morning UK time.
Okay, so guys, this is going to be a long segment, so if you fancy going to grab yourself a cup of tea, a coffee, a drink, pause now and go and get yourself some snacks and some drink. This is going to be quite a story. So let's take you back to yesterday and the flight itself. So we did all the COVID tests and stuff in the morning, which you saw, all negative and was fine. And like the airport experience itself was lovely. It was all good. I saw my sister and stuff, so that was lovely. Food was okay. And then we got called to the flight, which was absolutely fine. We walked down to the boarding area. We were the last kind of lot of people on, but it wasn't too bad. I mean,
the way they called the people on, wasn't it?
Yeah, but when we got on, there was space for our luggage and stuff. We were in a seat of 3 and they were all full at that moment in time. But as we took off, they said basically for anyone who was like maybe a lone traveller, they could go and move into the spare seats because it wasn't a full flight. So that lady who was sat with us did. So we ended up having 3 seats to ourselves, which was really lovely. The food, I wasn't a particular fan of the food on Virgin this particular time, apart from I was able to eat the pretzels because they weren't stinky pretzels and they were just ready salted pretzels, and the ice lolly, which I quite liked. But you didn't mind the food.
Well, yeah, the curry was good. As someone I heard on another vlog, airplanes usually don't mess up curries. They're not difficult to mess up. The only thing I would say is I had 4 pieces of chicken. I'm not talking big pieces of chicken, I'm talking small pieces.
So is that a bad thing then in a curry, not having that much chicken? Is that an insult to curries?
Well, you know, if you're having a chicken curry, you don't buy it for the sauce, you buy it for the chicken. You know, if I had a chicken curry and had 1 piece of chicken and, you know, a bowl full of soup, I'm basically having curry soup.
Okay, so that happened, and it was a night flight. I didn't sleep, I never do. I found it very uncomfortable, the chairs, but we had 2 women in front of us. Why have seats been created so they can come back a little bit, which is okay, you know, when they first come back,
recline.
They come back and you're all right, but when they're at like this in your face, so like that seat came all the way back and my screen then was like that. So I was like, right, so I'm not gonna getting in and out of the seat was hard. The first time I tried to get in and out, I ended up like
bashing her.
Bashing, yeah, I didn't mean to, but I ended up, mind you, revenge. And there wasn't that many turbulence, so I was like, I could relax most of the time. And the stewardess were lovely. I asked for some water during the night flight and they did, and that was lovely.
It was a bit weird, I would say. They still gave us Virgin afternoon tea at what was it, 2 hours before landing, so like 7 o'clock. It would have been approximately 7 o'clock flight time, but that would have been like near to 1 o'clock UK time.
I didn't like the afternoon tea. I had 2 of the scones because they came out warm, but the scones need a bit more than just plain scones. Like, oh,
you could have put the clotted cream on them or the strawberry jam.
No, I'm good, thanks. Jam should not be coming in a packet. It should be in a jar. I'm sorry, do not touch that sort of stuff. It'd be dribbling out of the packet.
People have seen it on other vlogs usually if they're watching this kind of content. They know those little squeezy packets.
Okay. Sorry to everyone who likes a squeezy packet jam. Okay, so what time did we land? Like,
so we landed literally at 9 o'clock American time, well, New York time. By the way, we had a late flight because we had to get the COVID testing done, and we didn't want to go through check-in, get COVID testing done, discover we were positive, which we're not.
We're not positive, so that wasn't a problem. It was if we had an inconclusive test, and then we'd have to have gone all the way back through security again. That would have been a pain in the butts.
Yeah, but we wanted to do it, and also it was a reward flight, so basically we got these flights on reward, and we decided to go 2 days early, and this was the 6 o'clock one was the only reward flight they had for the Saturday that we could get seats on. So
oh, good
that's
points. Love the points. Cheap flight.
We do Virgin Atlantic credit card, so we get points as well. So that's why.
Yeah, keep it cheap. Keep it cheap.
Yeah.
Then we land, and then chaos pursues. So
it took a while to get off the plane, didn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what it's like sitting in economy, first class off first, premium economy off next.
Which we don't mind. Generally don't mind, because like when we've flown previously, it always ends up that our baggage is never there on time anyway, so we didn't mind. We were walking off the plane and we kept seeing signs about the immigration hall. Your wait is going to be greater than 60 minutes. I said to Alan, oh god, this is going to be fun. Wow. We came around a corner and there was queue on queue on queue, and the queue just snaked all the way. It reminded
about
me
15 rows of snake, weren't it?
Right, so anyone who watched about the Queen's death, right, and remember when people went to go and see her coffin, and remember that queue, and you remember when you're like right at the close bit of the queue, right? Those who did it will know what I mean, but it was that last bit that everyone complained about, that snaking bit, yeah, that last bit. Think of that in the immigration section, right? We were in that immigration queue for just over 2 hours. 2 hours.
Queued it off, so they had like a section A, B, C, D, depending whether you're US citizen, global entry, and we were in section E. And he had like 3 or 4 people work in section E for this snake queue. Got through all of the people that were like US citizens, and there was the section for all Canadian or visaed people. Mm-hmm. And they literally then had to open up every other person to deal with our queue.
Yeah, and then there was obviously tempers were frayed because the staff members were obviously tired themselves, because we're now hitting 11 o'clock at night, well 10 o'clock, and then we heard the announcement saying all immigration officers must stay until 11.
Said if your shift is due to finish at 10 o'clock, your new finish time is 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so then they were obviously probably pissed off, let's be honest. You know, you wanted to get off, but this queue was just not going down. So once the USA citizens queue went down, because that obviously was a lot quicker than our queue, the officers then became us, basically helping our queue. But there was tempers that were frayed, not just by them members of staff, but also some passengers who were obviously very tired from a night flight. And I don't exactly know what happened, but we know that a little argument kind of hit off between a male passenger and one of the queue attendants. And she was making it very clear how rude he was. She was muttering under her breath a lot of the time, and even speaking to other passengers about how rude that man was. Don't know what he did or said, no idea. But then we were watching her, and she was obviously very annoyed about things, and her manager came to then take over, I think, and all we heard was her moaning about all the passengers from Virgin Atlantic. Apparently we were all rude. We were rude passengers. I was like, hold on, I'm not, me and him are happy to just stand in this queue. Well, we weren't happy, but we were just,
speak for yourself, yeah.
We did what we had to do.
Yeah, you
like,
just wait.
We were just waiting, like, and most people did. Most people waited without a fuss. Like, we were all tired, but we all knew that we were in the same situation, and we were just going to have to wait our turn, you know. We've come to the United States, and we accept the rules and policies that are put in place to enter this country, and that included this queue. But to tarnish every single person on the Virgin Atlantic flight as rude is a bit extreme. The manager took over, and she was told to go, basically. I think she needed to go home. She had a bad day. Anyway, then a lady asked this one, are you from the Bogota flight? And he turned around and went, no, we're from Virgin Atlantic flight. And she was like, so where are all the passengers from the Bogota flight? Oh,
Well, she went along asking other people, you from Bogota, you from Bogota.
no, we were all from Virgin Atlantic. Well, it turns out I think they had some missing passengers or a missing plane completely that hadn't even come through immigration at that point. So I mean, I felt sorry for the immigration team when I heard that, because not only did this queue snake, if there was another flight coming in behind us, there was no way they were leaving at 11 o'clock their time. They would be leaving at midnight, maybe 1 o'clock. Anyway, so we get through immigration eventually. We've got through immigration and our bags have been actually unloaded from the conveyor belt because we are like the last lot of people coming through. So our bags were there ready to be picked up. So that was quite simple. And then we walked through, fine. We were knackered by this point because that 2-hour queue was very long.
At this point, you know, was it 11:15, something like that?
11:15 New York time. So we go to the transportation place where we've already booked transfers from the airport to the hotel. Okay guys, settle down now even more. I'm just gonna give myself my arm a break for a moment. If you've made it this far, I think we're already about 10 minutes, 15 minutes into this segment. Well done. We get to the transportation bit.
We have to phone through.
Yeah, you phoned through, didn't you? And that was alright, didn't you?
Yeah, I literally phoned through. You phone through, give them your reservation number. They said to me, oh yeah, we'll call dispatch and get someone to you ASAP.
But they didn't give a time on it. Over an hour by the time transportation came.
By the time we picked up, it was about 20 past midnight.
Yeah. So this gentleman picks us up and we get into this minivan, and there's 5 other passengers already been picked up. So we now become the 7th passengers to be picked up. Our luggage is loaded and we're off.
He's a very chatty guy.
Anyway, okay, how do we describe what happens next? Because I still can't believe what I'm about to tell you guys. So we're from London, right? And we understand crazy driving. We're from London. Londoners can be crazy in their driving patterns, but this was insane.
So we've been to New York before and we've done these same transfers before. That's why we went with them. But these transfers usually take at least an hour to get into downtown Manhattan from JFK. This guy got to the Manhattan Tunnel in 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Now, okay, yes, it wasn't busy.
Busy enough for cars to be...
Well, no, it wasn't that busy.
For cars to be in front of him, and just he didn't care what moved in front of him and what didn't. He didn't slow down.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is it's not busy like it could have been. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing I'm trying to get across. So, you know, it's not like jam-packed rush hour traffic, you know. You can tell it is at night where there's not as much traffic on the road.
But there was enough for me to be terrified, because he didn't slow down at all over bumps, over like corners, speeding, like skidding slightly at one point when he went round one corner. If there was a car in front of him, didn't matter. Like, it was terrifying. I was already terrified at this point in this car. I did not feel safe.
Well, it's a minibus. It was a...
Yeah, I didn't feel safe. In this car, minibus, whatever you want to call it, I did not feel safe. He was so erratic. His driving was erratic. Alan, was his driving erratic?
It probably wasn't the type of driving that needed to be when you've got paying passengers on board. Probably is not what is needed. Okay,
so we're coming up to the tunnel and I'm clinging on to Alan. At this point I'm clinging on to Alan because I was terrified. He was a lunatic. He was a crazy man, driver. And all of a sudden, bang, boom.
Scrape along the floor.
We've skidded. Like, I thought we were going to crash. I'll be honest. I thought we were going to crash into these. There was like a side area that we were going to go into. I can't. Yeah. So a tire blowout. Is that what you call it?
So basically, this is what we didn't know at the time. So the car literally dropped, or the van dropped on our side, and you could hear it start scraping, and as it was moving it was going bump like this. So I thought, look, it's either a blowout or the axle's gone, something along that lines, because of the way the car just dropped on one side. And yeah, like I say, as what happened, you know, the rear end skidded. He managed to bring it to a halt to one side across the other side of the road, and then pull it to one side, and then he jumped out of the vehicle, ran round, and this is the point, this is where we say about the communication. He didn't say, guys, are you okay, is any of you okay? We didn't get checked on at all. He literally jumped out, went round, started kicking the ide of it, got on the phone, started phoning his office.
I was terrified at this point, because where we were actually on like a truck lane area, and I could see when from
we're
behind.
We're on the crosshatch section, you know, of where it kind of divides.
Yeah, so I've looked behind and I can see the rubber on the floor. I was terrified that we were stuck now in a very dangerous position right now. We were in a very, like, I felt like we could have been just like, I was waiting for a lorry to come behind us to hit us. That's how terrified I was. But when I saw the police turn up, I kind of felt a little bit more relieved when the police were there. He guided the guy to a much safer area, which I did not like moving in that vehicle, going like that. You know, we're sat at the back as well, you know, we were feeling those bumps. The tyre had blown out on our side, so we felt that big time. We were moved across. Again, the police officer didn't check on any of the passengers either. No. He didn't really.
I'm just wondering, why was that down to his eyes? Your passengers okay? Yeah, they're good, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we just don't know. But so we all move that way. The guy then gets on the phone again, and then tells us a little bit later that he's called through and that someone's going to come and pick us up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. At this point we were just like sitting in silence in this van, and my heart had gone to the clappers. Like I was just, yeah, terrified, and I wanted to get out of this vehicle by this point. I just wanted to get out and be safe on safe ground. Now it took about an hour, I would say, between 40 minutes to an hour for this other gentleman to arrive with a van. Now I'm going to insert footage while we're talking right now, because we have got video, a small video that I can show you where we got transported from one vehicle to the other, and we can also see in that footage, hopefully you're seeing it now, you can see on the right hand side of the van, we were sat at the back of that van, and that's where the tyre blew out. You can see where the rubber has like snapped. It's
delaminated from the tyre, and yeah.
And you can see us getting into the other vehicle. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even want to get into this other vehicle because I was terrified about what this man was going to do and drive. Like, was he going to drive as like a maniac as this previous driver we had?
When we're transferred, we're literally not on the highway anymore. We're like on a side road, pulled up against the curb.
And then that's when I realised how lucky we were, because when he came back round to where we were, where the accident happened, we come back round and we go into this tunnel, and the tunnel is like 2 lanes, and it's 2 lanes going the same way, and in the middle of those lanes are like bollards all the way through, like I think concrete bollards.
If you've ever been at Heathrow Terminal, or the Heathrow main terminals, not Terminal 5, like Terminal 2 and Terminal 3, when you go for under the runway and you're going through the tunnels and they say keep in the lane, and you're, imagine that tunnel, but I'm also imagine bollards in between each lane.
If that tyre had blown out in that tunnel, we would have hit those bollards and we would have had an accident. There would be nowhere to pull over. Cars were speeding through that tunnel. There would have been nowhere to go. So we were extremely lucky that there was no injuries, that there was not much more of a serious accident that occurred. Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't believe that. Anyway, we're now with the new driver, right? And he's trying to work out where all of us are meant to go, all the hotels we were meant to be dropped off at. And there's a couple of passengers in there that they don't have a reference number for. So he's asking for this woman's name. She sounded like French, maybe French or Italian, and she was trying to explain her name to this man, who obviously wasn't quite understanding. And then he calls dispatch, and dispatch is like, well, has she got a reference number? So the passengers at this point are passing this phone to and from the passengers who are sat in front of us, trying to give the reference number to the driver who's at the front of the car, the vehicle. Like, it was like a comedy act while still driving through New York. I was just like, what is going on? That gets sorted and resolved, from what we are aware of anyway. And we are the second drop off, and we are dropped off at the
Roy Plaza.
So that's the RIU Plaza Hotel. And we walk into the foyer, and at this point I am just happy to have walked into a hotel safely and alive.
At this point it's just before 2 o'clock, I'd imagine.
Yeah, 2 o'clock New York time, AM. We've walked in, we start checking in, and the guy's like, oh, we just need your passport and some paperwork, and Alan passes them over. He goes away for a couple of minutes and then comes back. He goes, guys, nothing to worry about. This happens all the time, but you're in the wrong hotel. You're meant to be in our sister hotel. I think my face probably dropped. I think it told him everything that he needed to know, that we were very, very tired at this point. Obviously, we had just been in an accident, and yeah, I was not a happy bunny. But the gentleman was lovely, and he called up the other hotel and he walked us there. So it was in walking distance. It was about 5-10 minutes, and my pace probably 10. We ended up walking through Times Square with our luggage, and we get to this other hotel. So now we're in this new hotel, which is the same hotel but in their other site. And we
apparently a newer hotel. This has only been open like 5 months.
Yeah, and it's nice. I will do a room tour eventually, but normally I've done a room tour before we've used all the facilities. But as you can imagine, we've had to use all the bloody facilities at this point. We're at 2:30 AM in the morning.
I'll do it tomorrow morning once you've finished packing up.
Yeah, okay. I might do that tomorrow. Might do it for your viewing for next week, maybe. Right. So we've booked in. We're all good. We come up to our room, which is on the 21st floor. So this one's not happy because there's like glass,
full-size glass windows. Which
and we've gone to sleep. Alan's woken up about 6 AM New York time, roughly.
So he had less than 4 hours sleep.
And he's just looked at the paperwork that he was given last night. Good job he did. And it turns out we're only booked for 1 night here. So Alan gets stressed, and Alan.
Well, I've gone back and checked my paperwork, and I've looked at my paperwork a little bit more, and I've checked the address on the paperwork, and I've checked how long we're booked at. So the address on the paperwork is for the other hotel. The 2 nights are for the other hotel, not this hotel. So I've gone down to speak to the receptionist and seen the same guy that checked us in at 2 o'clock in the morning. And he said, oh yeah, you're only booked for 1 night. What you're going to have to do is, because they were overbooked there, they've transferred our booking to this hotel. And yeah, we've got to check out this hotel today and go on to back to the other hotel to check in over there. And it's like, but why is that? And it's like, oh yeah, it's just because, you know, when the guy phoned me, we were only doing it for 1 night. So what I've made the assumption is that they overbooked the hotel, that if we had turned up, say earlier, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we would have got our 2 nights at the other hotel. But because we turned up at 2 o'clock in the morning, other people got in there before us, so they hadn't scheduled a room for us. They had literally just first come first serve basically, and taken our booking. And then because they were booked, they've now gone, oh yeah, we can then go back there tomorrow night. So I've said to the guy, what can you do about it? He's gone, oh, you've got to speak to the manager at 8 o'clock this morning. So I've come back up.
I'm awake at this point, so I know what's going on.
Yeah. So I've literally come back up. We've kind of like rested, taken our tablets, morning tablets, and
yeah. So then we walk down. So we go down. No, actually, sorry, tell a lie. Alan phones the manager.
So the guy said, "Yeah, you don't need to come back down. You can phone the room at 8 o'clock. You can phone it from 8 o'clock from our here." And so we decided to make the phone call.
Yeah, and you did. And what happened?
So literally, this woman went. I said, "Can I speak to the manager?" She goes, "Oh, why?" I explained the situation. She goes, "Oh yeah, 1 second. Oh, the manager's busy on the phone, but there's nothing we can do for you. You're gonna have to check out here today." I went, "No, that makes no sense. You know, in reality, I've paid for 2 nights at a hotel. Why am I having to?"
And it's not our fault that we were taken to this hotel. We didn't originally book this one. We booked her sister one, which is down the road. And it's not our fault that
which is actually closer to the cruise terminal for us as well.
That's why we booked it. So then Alan was not happy, and neither was I. At this point, I've only had 5 hours sleep. I'm not happy, bunny. So we quickly get dressed and we go downstairs, get down to the foyer. And we're in the foyer, and we then speak to this woman, and we explain the situation that Alan wants to speak to the manager. We explain that we are not leaving this hotel because there's no way I'm lugging my luggage back to the other one. We've got it here now. You know, you've put us here. This has nothing to do with us. This is something to do with you guys. You know. She goes back into the back room and speaks to her manager. She comes back out. She's like, "You guys just take a seat." She's just sort of sorting someone else out. So we take a seat, and we sat for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes in this foyer area. And then all of a sudden we're summoned back over like this. And I'm ready for a battle now. I'm ready. I'm fired up. And she was like, "Oh no, it's all sorted. You can stay here now for 2 nights."
We didn't even get to see the manager. Manager never came out and apologised to us or...
No. Nope. So
said sorry about the confusion, the mistake that's happened. Nothing.
We just say thank you. Like, it was just a weird interaction.
It was like, so are we in the same room? Are we using the same facilities? Or do you know what I mean? Is it?
Yeah. So anyway, we now decide to go to breakfast because as a part of the package that we bought with this hotel is that you come with the buffet breakfast, all you can eat buffet. It has hot food, cold food, fruits, big continental kind of breakfast, tea, coffee, juices.
Good selection. Got full avocado, smoked salmon, and
yeah, Alan had some of that. It was a nice little view. Alan probably wasn't quite happy being so close to the window, which I think I've put that in there already for you guys. So then we bring you to today and the time we are at now. So now let's bring you to right now, and the time is, Alan?
5:15.
5:15 New York time, because I went back to sleep after breakfast for about 5 hours, and then we've got up, had a bit of a shower. We didn't have this planned at all. We were going to go out. I wanted to go to Bath and Body Works, and we wanted to go to Olive Garden. That's the kind of plan we wanted to do today, and maybe just walk around Times Square a little bit.
Just go for a bit of a wander.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
spend some time.
None of that has
Even
happened.
possibly go to the theatre. We had talked about that at one point.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't book a theatre trip.
Gosh.
I'm so glad we didn't.
We were thinking double dip in the theatre, weren't we?
We were thinking about maybe The Music Man with Hugh Jackman, and maybe Six, because I love Six. But I'm so glad we didn't book anything. I'm really, really glad we didn't. We spent pretty much a whole Sunday in a hotel room because we were so tired with what happened yesterday. So the plan going forward now, guys, is that you are going to have more footage than just us talking and rambling at you. Now, I think that's probably a half an hour segment of us talking. So if you have made it, again, to that point. Well done. I'm glad you went and got that coffee. Aren't you glad you went and got that coffee? We are just so lucky and grateful to be here, and I am so ready for the Disney magic tomorrow. So ready. Right, so now our plan is that we do want to go and grab some food. We're going to go down to the Olive Garden because it's just down the road to us and Times Square. So we're just going to walk down there, go and have some foods, and then we're going to come back and pretty much pack up properly, get our clothes out ready for tomorrow for going to the cruise terminal.
Yeah.
Oh, what a day yesterday. What a travel day. I can't believe the story that we're telling people on YouTube right now. Normally our travel days aren't too bad. I feel like our last one had like troubles.
Literally, it was quite uneventful. That's one there's probably not much footage, and we decided to do it all in 2 days, this day and yesterday, because
yeah, it was
literally
at that point. Yes, that's why you've got 2 days in one vlog. Now you're going to come and join us to Olive Garden. Let's go and give you some new footage. Let's go and give you footage of food. Yeah? Shall we go and get some food? You ready for some food? Let's go and get some food. So this is us in Times Square. It's about 25-minute wait for the Olive Garden. So we've just come out and it's a bit busy today. Mind you, when it isn't busy. So this is Alan's favourite ride. Are you enjoying yourself right now?
don't tempt me.
Oh, I like this cutlery area. Like that would come out every Halloween, and like the glasses as well. Oh, and look, the cake stand that's up there. Well, that was a very quick visit to the Disney shop because we got a notification that our table was ready for Olive Garden. So here is the lovely menu. He's happy because he likes it here.
Thank you. They look different.
So this is my meal. Again, I asked all the people what's wrong with it. She walked away, didn't even ask if I wanted cheese. I'm getting her back. And then this is what Alan got. Can't really see it. There we go. Okay, so we're back now in our room. You've probably seen all my footage. What I did in the end is I didn't actually film it on this camera. I filmed it on my phone. So if the quality is not as good, sorry about that. But it was the easiest thing to get in and out of my pocket, funnily enough, because it was ram-packed down in Times Square tonight. Also, there was this very strange setup outside of Olive Garden where there was animals. Like this person had done what's Noah's Ark thing, and there was puppies, there was birds, hamsters, guinea pigs, rabbits, all outside Olive Garden. It was very weird, very strange. Now we are literally going to get all the footage off here and yeah, and be ready for tomorrow where there'll be so much more to see and more magic, and I promise I'm going to get better. I feel I'm a little bit out of practice with vlogging. I know it was only like just a few months ago we were doing Alaska, but I think it's one of those things when you put down the camera for such a long time, you kind of forget your skills with it. Not that I'm very good anyway, but yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna get better. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this whole vlog, I commend you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to continue watching Disney vlogs and Disney content that's coming up, please subscribe, like and comment. I've also been told that there's like a notification thingy that you could maybe do when we post things. If that's something you want to do, by all means have a crack at it. Otherwise, we will see you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.